If you have been suffering with having high blood pressure, hopefully these tips can really help you out. But first, let's get into some of the stats because this is just crazy. So here in the United States, okay, nearly half of the adults, and that's obviously from 30 to about 80 years old, right? Half, 47% suffer with having high blood pressure. But here's the craziest part, all right? And this just shows that people are just arrogant, or maybe they just don't care or prioritize about their own health. About 50% of those people, right? It says about 48 to 49%. 50% of those people actually don't even know that they have high blood pressure. Isn't that wild? So they're not going to the doctors, they're not getting, annual checkups, anything like that. They're just undiagnosed. But yet, obviously, it's just wild, It's just just go to urgent care. In fact, you can even do high blood pressure tests right there at home. It doesn't have to be this huge thing where you have to actually have a, huge checkup with a doctor or anything like that. It blows my mind because it kind of, scares me a little bit where it's do people just not really care about their health here in the U.S.? I don't know, right? But then the other part of that is that about only, 1 in 4 of the adults out there, so about 25% that suffer with high blood pressure actually have it under control. So if you look at the stats, right, 50% of the adults out there in the U.S. suffer with having high blood pressure. About 50% of those people don't even know that they have, right, high blood pressure. And then about 25% of those people, that are actually, they know they have high blood pressure, they actually have it under control. So that means these people actually showed up to the doctors. They're doctors hey, you have high blood pressure. You should probably do something about this, right? And maybe they're prescribing them some medications, which I'm completely against because I feel like that's nothing more than just a Band-Aid to a gunshot wound that doesn't actually fix and solve anything at all. Just like some of these fad diets that's out there. And these people are getting that advice, right, to maybe take medications, or their doctor is being smart. It's hey, you should probably go sign up for Heartletics with Coach Joe. He's helped out hundreds of guys get off their blood pressure medications. And guess what? All you got to do is just be a little bit more active, eat a little bit healthier. He'll hook you up. Him and his team is great. And these people, right, they just go back to binge watching Netflix, drinking some beer, sitting on the couch, eating Doritos, and not caring about their health. Wild. Mind blown. So hopefully, if you have stumbled across today's episode, right, you actually are somebody that prioritizes your health. You're somebody that's serious about making a change, and I will say an investment into your health, because anything you do in a life is an investment, right? You can go to the grocery store, you can buy some healthy food, right? You can buy some chicken, maybe some broccoli, maybe some rice, maybe some oatmeal, maybe some, fruits, vegetables, everything like that. Greek yogurt, right? Fish, all that stuff, right? Healthy food. Or you can go stuff your face at the buffet, right? Or go to McDonald's, right? And eat a bunch of crap, chemicals and crap. So it's you're making the investment both paths, right? Sure, the McDonald's is probably going to be less expensive, but think about it. You're going to suffer with high blood pressure. You're going to suffer with being fat and overweight. You're going to feel probably sick also at the same time. And at the same time, think about it, years down the road, is that actually helping you, or is that actually shortening your lifespan? Compared to, hey, I'm going to spend a little bit more money, get some healthy groceries, start caring about my body, and potentially live longer. Right? Have more confidence, have better health, have more energy to play with your kids, lead better by example. So anything you do in life is an investment. These 3 things are definitely investments that hopefully you start focusing on. And that first one is just like that. Learning how to eat better. Now, you will never hear me say, eat this, avoid this, avoid this. Plain and simple. That's not how we run things at Heartletics, right? We focus on sustainable habits. Teaching somebody how to fish rather than giving somebody a fish. A big difference, especially, right? Odds are, if you're suffering with being overweight right now and you're listening to this, it's because you don't know how to properly eat, you don't know how to properly train, or you're just unmotivated to do something about it. That's it. That's the reality of all this, If somebody taught you how to properly eat, just like somebody had to taught you how to drive a car, right? You gain that knowledge. Not like that, driving instructor still sitting in your passenger seat anymore. Nope. Guess what? You acquired the skills. You acquired the knowledge. Knowledge is power at the end of the day. And so focus on eating better. All right? Focus on creating some habits for you where, hey, maybe you want to have some beer or some wine, go for it, but have it in moderation. Hey, maybe you want to have some chocolate chip cookies or some, donuts. Have it in moderation. But focus on, okay, hey, what are my calories to be losing body fat? Because that's going to help you lower your blood pressure. And also focus on having around, right? I always say the bare minimum of protein. Take your body weight, multiply it by 0.8. That's the bare minimum. And eat, right, all the way up, maximum 1.5. Eat around just 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. We had tons of success with our members, especially getting off their medications at Heartletics. We're just focusing on that. I mean, we got guys that literally, they just focus on the nutrition and the mindset, and they listen to me and the other coaches, and guess what? They improve their health, and you can too, so it doesn't have to be hard. What makes it hard is probably everything that you continue to do, which is cut out carbs, cut out your favorite foods, cut out sugar, cut out alcohol, all this stuff, where at the end of the day, I mean, let's face the facts here, it's not sustainable. Albert Einstein said it best. The definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. Why do you continue to go back to what failed you before in the past? Why? It's just stupid. Be smart. The second thing that you can do is be more active, right? You didn't hear me say spend 2 hours in the gym each and every day, focus on this, do these sets, reps, etc., the whole 9 yards. No. Be more active. When you come home from work, stop being lazy and sitting on the couch watching TV. Go grab your kids, go for a walk. Do some push-ups and sit-ups around the house. Move more, right? It's the simple things of life that we think it needs to be this radical shift all the way to left field in order to make a radical change within your body. No, but that mindset, that's what's stopping you from taking the first step because you think it has to be hard. Instead, what you need to do is just take the first step and then the next day take the second step. And then the next day take the third step. This is why we say at Heartletics, consistency is key. Because at the end of the day, as long as you're consistent and you're constantly moving in progression of where you're trying to get to, you will get there one day. But don't be the one that makes things 10 times harder for yourself because you want to get there tomorrow. When it took you years to get fat, why are you trying to lose it in a week? That's the reality of it. So it's do something simple, do something sustainable, do something that you can be consistent with, and stop being a little crybaby and throwing in the white towel and quitting every time times get tough. Plain and simple, man up. The third thing that you can do is manage your stress, which is huge. I'll say it like this, right? If you went out to war right now by yourself, you would probably fail. If you played a basketball game 1 against 5, you would probably fail. Why do you continue to do things in life by yourself? The best way to manage stress is honestly by getting help. And sometimes that help is just having people in your corner support you. I mean, this is honestly why we put such a huge emphasis into our community groups at Heartletics, because we know, hey, Les Brown said it best. Birds of a feather flock together. Hang around in life with losers, you're going to become a loser. Hang around in life with winners, you're probably going to become a winner. So it's just who are the people you're hanging around with? Can you even tell them how you're feeling? Let's say you're dealing with some stress at home with your spouse. Can you actually go to your friends and vent about that? Let's say you're dealing with some stress at work. Can you actually go home and vent about that? Why don't you stop being this guy trying to be all big and macho with this big old ego? But the reality is you just got this big old belly and you're taking all these blood pressure medications, right? You can relieve all this by simply getting some of that stress off your plate and having people in your corner that's going to help you and support you and most importantly encourage you. That's what accountability is at the end of the day. You're showing up to do things for yourself, by yourself, and at the end of the day, when times get tough, it's just you all by yourself. And those are typically the times when most guys quit, they throw in the white towel, they give up, they fall off the wagon. So imagine going out to war and you got a huge army behind you. Imagine playing a game of basketball and you got the best players in the world on your team. You're probably going to feel more confident. You're probably going to have more success. And if you focus on these 3 things that I just talked about with how to lower your blood pressure, you realistically will probably get off your medications. That's the reality. Eat better, be more active, and focus on managing that stress. Because we know at Heartletics, hey, at the end of the day, if you're not recovering properly, I mean, shoot, even things like sleep, right? That's horrible for your stress management, right? That's going to spike your cortisol levels. They actually did a study that, guys that slept on average, honestly, 8 hours compared to 5 hours had up to 20% more natural free testosterone. But hey, if you think that's crazy, what about the odds of this? Guys that slept on average 5.5 hours suffered with obesity, suffered with, type 2 diabetes, suffered with losing body fat, suffered with, not being focused, suffered with, obviously high blood pressure, high triglycerides, the whole 9 yards, baby. And all you got to do is sleep a little bit more. Because once again, if you don't, hey, those cortisol levels are going to spike. And it's virtually impossible to lose body fat when you're underneath a lot of stress and high amounts of cortisol. So at the end of the day, take it for what it is. But honestly, if you want success at reaching your health and fitness goals, lowering your blood pressure, getting off your medications, actually do the things that work. Not the things that's going to get you success tomorrow, because at the end of the day, that's going to be the fastest way to just, fail and fall flat on your face. Do things that work. Eat better, be more active, and focus on that stress management. Each and every day, consistency is key, and if you focus on that, hey, you're probably going to improve your health. That's all I got to say.